recorded this video about a year ago, which is when this event happened, January of 2021. Yeah, January 2021. But I'm finally uploading it, and it's just a quick story, just a quick video of the insanity that happens when you are a disabled person broadly, but a blind person specifically. So sit back and enjoy the awkward that is my life. So, when I was in Georgia for my godmother's birthday, I wanted to take her out and treat her to a meal. She decided it would be breakfast, so she picked a place and we went. So while we're there, they actually have Braille menus because it's a chain. That's something that I find to happen a little bit more often, that chains do have Braille menus. Okay, great. Oh my gosh, my hair is blowing in my face. Yes, anyway, that is something that I find to be more readily available at chains. Okay, great, fabulous. So I'm looking through, I already kind of settled on what I want, but finding Braille menus and stuff like that is so rare that I often end up reading through most of the menu just because it's there. There was one time on a plane where a flight attendant very excitedly handed me the flight instructions. Like the safety instructions and flight material stuff in Braille, and I read through all of it because this never happens. So I learned a lot about that 747. Is that a plane type? Never mind. Clearly, I did not learn that much. Anyway, though, so I am reading my menu, figure out what I want. Okay, cool. So my god brother had also joined us on this journey. So we all have what we want figured out, and the waitress comes back and she asks for our orders, and we're ready to go. So we all tell her what we want. She leaves. We're just having a nice conversation. Okay, cool. So waitress comes back. She comes back with 2 plates. The first plate for me had like eggs, bacon, whatever. Second plate had pancakes. The second plate, she started to hold out to my godmother and goes, "Should I give you this to you or so you can cut them up for her?" Guys, we were all just like, what? And so I was like, no, I'm fine. I can cut them up myself. Thank you. And she was like, oh, okay. And so, she puts them down. Okay, great. I start working on the eggs. And my godmother is very adamant about buttering her pancakes before they start to melt, before they start to cool so the butter can melt properly. And she's like, since you're not even focusing on them now, here, hand me your plate really quickly so she doesn't see me like buttering it for you. I just want to make sure they're just like nice and buttered. Okay, cool. So first we have that experience. So I was just like really awkward. Like, why would I not? I don't know. It just seems so weird. Or it's the assumption. It's the assumption for me. It's one thing if maybe she was thinking that, but she still gave me the courtesy of putting the pancakes down beside me because I am an adult who, with the exception of her vision, is otherwise able. Like, there was no obvious issue with my hands. Like, why would I not be able to handle my own pancakes, right? So we're all a little awkward, don't really know what to do with that, but she leaves us. Okay, cool. I'm like, you know what? This is going to be great. Since I'm treating them, she will be able to see that I am paying for the food. Like, I am an able-bodied blind person. Is that an oxymoron because I'm disabled and like the able-bodied are like the non-disabled? Whatever. There's going to be so much editing out of excess wind. So there was one point there where I had to grab my tripod to make sure it didn't just like fall over, or this wind is wild. I have to finish this video up soon. And so is my hair. Oh my gosh. My sister's right. I really should have pinned it down. Anyway though, but I'm blind, and for all intents and purposes that is the only disability that you are aware of, and so that was a little frustrating. But I'm like, okay, cool, I've got this money, it's gonna be great. So now we're leaving. I get up and I don't know if I reached for something, if it was my bag, I don't remember at this point because it's almost 2 months later, but I knocked over my water glass, and I knew when I knocked it over, and I just froze. I didn't try to grab it, and my godmother and godbrother were both like, we saw it happening, and we knew we could not get to it in time because they were across the table from me. They had also already gotten up. Like, I was the last person to get up, and it shattered. And that same waitress who was she was at another table, she looked over and was like, oh my gosh, I got that for y'all. And it was just so like conciliatory, like, oh my gosh, blind people, it's all right. I've got that for you. These things do happen, don't they? And I just felt so awkward after that. And she was like, okay, now go the other way, go the other way now. I was just like, oh my gosh. After I cut up my pancakes by myself and everything. So then it's one of those restaurants where you have to pay when you leave, like rather than the waitress coming to get the bill from the table. So we're leaving, and my godmother goes, you know, it just occurred to me that instead of thinking of you as like an able-bodied blind person, they might be like, oh my gosh, now they're taking advantage of her, like they're making her pay, like she probably doesn't even know how much the bill is. And I was like, I just can't win. I just cannot win.
I realized that it's been a few weeks since I promised to upload weekly, and I uploaded twice and then fell off again. Honestly, I fell into a bit of a slump again, but then I remembered this already half-edited video and decided to put this out there for a sort of filler episode, and I will have more content for you all next week, a booktube review with my friend Sulai. Okay, till next time, hope you enjoyed.